Hi YouTube, it's me Sunkiss, and I'm coming to you guys today with a pretty sad update. As most of you know already from watching my past videos, I went through vertical sleeve. I had a vertical sleeve done and lost a bunch of weight, and several months ago I came back and announced that I was 5 weeks pregnant, and I was, anyway, you guys have seen my videos to know pretty much that I was pregnant. So I'm just coming back to let y'all know I lost the baby, and this is a really rough video for me. I'm sorry, I look bad. I just literally got out the hospital today. I still have bullet wounds all over me, but I don't even know how to make this video. Like, I can't even be professional about it like I normally try to be in most of my videos, and upbeat or whatever. This is a sad video. Y'all will see me in this video how you have never seen me before. Because I did not know this I would ever have to make a video like this, or that something like this could even ever happen to me. A lot of y'all know how happy I was, watching my past videos about the pregnancy, and I was just anticipating her arrival. And yeah, she was a girl. She was a little baby girl, just what I wanted. I was anticipating her arrival so much, and she just wasn't meant to be here with me. It's gonna take me a minute to get past it and to move forward. It's a really sad time for me right now, for me and my family, because it's not only me that's mourning her. Her father's mourning her, my mother, my brothers, my cousins, my friends, my co-workers, everyone is mourning her right now. So I'm going to give y'all a little summary of what happened to the best that I can to get through it. And I'm doing this because I shared everything with y'all from the beginning, from, my surgery to getting pregnant with her, and I wanted to come back and and I'll watch this later on, and hopefully I'll find some strength in it, just the same as I wanted to watch my weight loss. I wanted to watch this pregnancy, and I'm gonna watch this video later on and be able to get some strength from it. Okay, so Tuesday night I went to bed. This past Tuesday, a couple of nights ago, I went to bed, was going to bed, and it was around 11 something at night, and all of a sudden I felt all this wet stuff coming down my legs, and I knew I wasn't peeing on myself. I was still physically awake. I wasn't sleeping. So if I was sleeping, I would have woke up and thought that maybe I peed on myself. I'm thankful that it happened when I was still awake and not sleeping, because I would have probably thought nothing of it and thought maybe that I just peed on myself. But I jumped up because I knew something was wrong. It wasn't like regular discharge or anything. I mean, it was puddles of water just all over the place. And me being 18 weeks pregnant, the first thing I'm thinking, oh my God, this is my water breaking. And the first thing in my mind is like, oh my God, when your water breaks, you have to deliver a baby. So that's the first thing that I had in my mind. So I jumped up hysterically, put my clothes on immediately, and ran out the door and went straight to the emergency room. I got to the emergency room in a matter of minutes. It wasn't even my hospital, but that I was supposed to have her in, but I went to the nearest one, because to me, I was trying to make sure that I could save my baby. I didn't know what was going on. So I got to the hospital, and they took me back, And they did the ultrasound on me, and the doctor, I knew when she was doing the ultrasound that it was over. I knew when she was doing it, basically, that it was over, because when she was doing the ultrasound, she wouldn't talk to me. And usually when they're doing my ultrasounds, they're always, oh, look at her, she's moving, or she turned away from the, oh, or something. They would say something like, beautiful and nice about her. So when she wouldn't say anything, no words of encouragement, they were just doing an ultrasound. It was a quick ultrasound too, and there was a couple of doctors in there along with the nurse's assistant, and nobody was saying anything. I knew something was wrong, so I started screaming. At that point, I started to scream. And when the rest of them walked out the room and one doctor left and she sat down on that stool and she didn't stop me from screaming, I knew it was over at that point. I knew I lost my baby. She didn't even have to say it out her mouth. I just looked at her. She sat there on a stool and just held my hand as I screamed. And it was a scream that I never knew that I had inside of me. It's something that a mother should never, ever, ever, ever have to go through. It's a pain so deep inside. So, I stopped screaming for a minute, and I said, is my baby gone? Is my baby dead? And she said, no, she's not dead. And for 1 minute, for 1 second, I had a glimmer of hope. But then she followed with saying, I don't have good news. Screaming started back again. And I told her, please don't take my baby. I wanna go too. Don't take my baby. Just let me go too. If you want to take her, take me with her, because I can't live through this. And I calmed down, and she explained to me what happened. I said, please, can you save her? And she just shook her head, no, she can't save her. She explained to me that my water ruptured and I had no more fluid in my sac. And even if she put fluid in there, the fluid would just leak back out, because basically there was no sac, and you cannot have a baby that's not going to be in amniotic fluid, because it's the water, that bag that they're in, that they grow and develop in. And it helps, it's like a cushion. It helps keep your baby protected from anything, any antibodies, anything inside of you. That is that baby's sac right there. It keeps the baby protected. That's the way they grow and they live inside that sac. If I was attempting like a miscarriage or bleeding, they could have done something to stop that. That they could have stopped. But the sac is broken. They can't stop that. There's nothing that they could do. So, by now, at this point, I knew it was over. But I still, in my head, I didn't know it was over. I still didn't come to terms with it was over. I'm still feeling like I'm praying to God at this point. God, please, just put the water, miraculously make a new sac in there. Please. I can't do this right now. And I'm praying and I'm praying and I'm praying. I'm praying to God, please, 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 just put a sac back in there. Just do some kind of, perform some work, some miracle. I mean, everybody at this point is praying. My mother, I've called her at this point, and she's rushing over there. Baby daddy's rushing over there, and we all praying, and family's praying, and everybody's praying, and for some kind of miracle, for something to happen to save her. Because in my head, I'm still feeling like there's some chance to saving my baby. I'm not believing what this doctor is telling me right now. I just couldn't believe that God would give me this gift after 39 years and take her away from me. Okay? I couldn't believe that this would happen to me, that I would go 18 weeks with her. I mean, like, I felt like I was out the danger stage. The first trimester is a danger stage. I was well into my second trimester. I didn't even just get into my second trimester. I was well into it. I was in week 18 now. So how could this have happened to me? So there's an answer for all of this, y'all. I'm sorry, but this is probably going to be a pretty long update. If y'all could bear with me to get through this, because I'm not doing a two tape thing. I'm just gonna end it with this one. But there's an answer in the end to all of this. But y'all know me, I have to narrate a whole story for y'all to understand everything, and like like if you were there. So at this point they admitted me, and you know, baby daddy, my mother, well, my mother was there first, and then he came after, and my mother, you know, was just as emotional as I was, but she was trying to keep it together for me, because my mother was more excited about this baby than I was. Trust me, this baby was named after her. She was more excited about this child than I was. So she's very, very hurt right now. She's feeling this loss. She's seen her born. I mean, it's a whole story. Okay. So anyway, the day is going now. Let's get into the next day, because this is like by 3 o'clock in the morning. My mother is there. Okay, my mother's at the hospital, and at this point we're just waiting for my room. Baby daddy comes in maybe an hour or so after her, and we're still waiting for my room. So I get up to the room. I don't even remember at what point I'm in the room, but now we're on Wednesday, because we were into Tuesday night, and I got there like 12 midnight or something like that Wednesday morning. So we're into Wednesday now. We're going into the morning now, and you know, I'm up in my room now, and so several doctors and people coming in to talk to me and everything about the situation, and examine me and explain things to me that, you know, there's pretty much no way in saving her, and we just need to talk about what we need to go, what's the next step that we need to do now. And their next step that they wanted me to do was to induce the labor and to deliver her, so I wouldn't cause any more infection or anything to or damage to myself, because pretty much we couldn't save the baby, but we had to save me. So I, at this point, still felt like they could save my baby. I just did not want to let go, but I knew that I had to try to let go. And my mother was there, you know, talking to me. She's like, listen, I love this baby, but I love you more. You are my daughter. You're my child. And I need you here. She says, my grandbaby is not going to make it. Okay? You have to get yourself together and let's do this. Make the decision, you know. It's your mother. You always, it's nothing like your mother, you know. My mother brought me through it. So, we went down. They had to ease my mind. We went down for another sonogram, and they wanted to do this also, just to be on the safe side. I went for a full sono this time, and at least, you know, my family was there with me in this sono. My boo and my mother was there with me at this sono, and we got to see her on the monitor, because the first time around they didn't even let me see her. So, you know, I seen plain as day, there was no water in there. And the thing is that her heart was still beating at a good pace. Like, she didn't want to die. You know, she was still in there with no sac. Like, normally, you have a baby in there with no sac, the heart rate should have been really low, okay? And she should have already started dropping. Like, when your water breaks, your baby should have started positioning down and getting into the canal, and it's time for birth. That's what usually your body does. My baby was still way up here by my navel, and her heart was not at the best rate, but it was still 138, which is not a bad rate. It's still a good rate for a baby. Usually her heart rate is in the 150s. So she still was at a pretty good heart rate. So that really hurt me, that she was still in there fighting for her life. It's like she was fighting for her life, and I had to take it from her, because I knew with no water, they wanted me to see that there was no water in there. I knew with the no water that she wasn't gonna live. You know, it was only gonna be a matter of time, and all I was gonna do was be holding on and waiting to deliver her at home, and I couldn't go through that at home. It would have caused too much risk to me. I could have bled internally. I could have had infections grown inside of me because of this. and it just would have prolonged things and made things worse. She would have suffered, I would have suffered, it would have been worse. So I decided to go ahead and let them induce my labor. So they induced me, and I waited though. By now this was afternoon time, Wednesday. We was into the afternoon on Wednesday, heading towards the evening, before I really decided that we was going to start this inducing, okay? And they started the inducing. They gave me the first set of pills. I had these 2 pills I had to put in my mouth and let them dissolve on the side. So the first 2 sets didn't really kick in any real pain yet. All I felt was like started to feel some type of pressure. Okay, so the second set that they gave me some hours later, a couple of hours later, that started to kick in. By now it was about a little after 7 o'clock, and at this point I was having contractions. Like, I want y'all to know, I went through the whole labor. I mean, like if I was having a baby. I went through everything. I have so much respect for mothers now, because now I know what it's like to actually go through a whole labor. It's no joke. It is not a game. That pain is like no other. Now I understand what childbirth and hips, where they get that name from, because you really deliver your baby, you feel all that pain in your hips and your back. My hips and my back was killing me. I was like in so much pain for 12 hours straight. So yeah, till like 7 something in the morning, I didn't sleep from that evening to the next morning. Okay, so we in Thursday now. We are now in Thursday. So I had a little bit of, they started to give me morphine because I was screaming. I just couldn't take it no more. I couldn't take no more of the pain. And I told them, please just take the baby, just take her. I can't do this no more. I couldn't do it no more. And so they gave me morphine, and that helped me with the pain to get through the rest. Because I just couldn't take it no more. It was just too much for me. The trauma of knowing that I'm delivering my baby dead, and I mean, I'm going through all of this, and I'm not going to take her home with me. So, and at first I didn't want them to give me any pain medicines, because I said if I'm going to do this, I wanted the whole experience to feel what it feels like, you know, the whole thing. I wanted that, but towards the end, I was like, look, I need something. I can't do this no more. So I do not knock you mothers that have epidurals, by all means necessary, because it is not a joke. You have to have an epidural, by all means, go ahead. That pain is like no other, but you know, in the end, if you have a beautiful baby coming, and it's all worth it in the end for you if you have a beautiful baby coming. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way for me. I mean, she was a beautiful little girl, but I didn't get to take her home. So, okay, it's 18 minutes now. Finally, at 11:50 that morning, the 29th, September 29th, Thursday morning, I finally delivered my baby. And I didn't know whether she was going to deliver and have a heartbeat when she was coming out of me, you know, and whether she was going to die in my hand, and because she was so tiny. She was fully formed, but she was big enough that I could still sit her in my hand. She was big enough that I can see her. I could see her little legs and her little hands and her feet, and she had all her fingers and toes and everything like that, and she was a very pretty little girl too. So you know, to get to the, I'm just gonna get to the end of this now. You know, I went through that day, Thursday, and, you know, feeling so much pain in my heart. You know, I got to hold her. She didn't have a heartbeat. She was born, by the time she was born, you know, the trauma, I guess, from all of that, she had died. She had passed. But I did get to hold her. That brought me some comfort, was to be with my baby and to pray with her, and to talk with her and to touch her and to kiss her. It gave me a little bit of comfort, you know, that I could at least do that with her and see that she was such a beautiful baby, perfect little girl. And I still got to see her little features and everything, you know, even at 18 weeks. I mean, she wasn't fully developed yet, but I still was able to see her little features and all her little toes and count her toes and see her little, she had the little smallest little fingernails. You know, I could see all of that on her. You know, I turned her over and looked and examined her. I looked at everything on her. So, you know, I let them take her. And it's just really, really rough. It's a really rough time for me right now. Anyway, I don't know if I can get through the rest of the story. But, okay, let me just say, because I told y'all it's an ending to it. She did have a birth defect. It was something that we didn't know, that it wasn't explained yet. I mean, I didn't have I knew she was a girl because I was going to come back this week with y'all to tell y'all, sorry, I don't have on fully, I'm not fully clothed. I was going to come back this week to tell y'all about her gender and her name, the name that I gave her, and everything, because I had a 3D sonogram that I was going to share with you guys, and I had that at 16 weeks, so I knew she was a girl then. And I was going to come back this week with a new update, you know, to let y'all know about all of that, but I didn't get to do that. So she did have, I'm not going to get into everything, but she did have a birth defect, and they didn't tell me that until today. Okay, and I'm glad that they told me that, because now at least I know, and I don't have to sit here and ask God why. Now I know why. I know why God took her from me. The birth defect that she had, it wasn't something that I was going to see with my eye, but a trained doctor can see with their eye, okay? And it was something that she could have had a surgery for. However, it's a pretty fatal birth defect, okay? And the probability of her surviving was low. So, you know, the doctor explained that there have been some babies to survive the birth defect after operation, but she hasn't in her history seen one survive. They usually live maybe a day or two. So, this is the reason why God took her from me, you know. He did not want me to go 9 months and have a stillbirth baby and have her suffer. You see how he loved her more? I loved her, but he loved my baby more than me, and so he had to take her from me. He didn't want my baby to suffer any pain. He knew that she was going to go eventually. He knew that she was going to go eventually. And she came into my life, and she changed my life in such a way that she made her purpose here. She brought and repaired back relationships within my family. What she came here to do is what she did. She put something in me that now that I want to be a mother. Okay? This thing, I didn't even know that I ever wanted to be a mother. I had put that out of my head and out of my mind. She changed all of this thing for me. Okay? And now I feel like I can't go on in life now without being a mother. I can't move on in my life without doing this. And I never wanted to be. You know, I mean, it's not that I never wanted to be. I had put that out of my head and I didn't want to be anymore. Okay? Y'all know I talked about all of that in my past tapes and explained all of that, how I felt about that anyway. So, I'm glad that they told this to me, and I'm glad that I have some closure on it, knowing that it's because my baby was not meant to suffer is why she's not here with me. And it's not because I did anything wrong. It's just something that happened. And, you know, going forward, you know, that's going to help me heal and help me to, I don't know, some forgiveness in my heart for something. I don't know what yet, but it's going to help me along the way, and it's going to help me keep my faith in God, in which I know I was never going to lose anyway, but we always question, and we shouldn't, what he does. We always, in this point from the anger inside, because at that point I was angry inside, so I questioned and when I shouldn't have. And in the end, he gave me the answer as to why, you know, and I had to thank him for that. So they gave me this memory box at the hospital that I thought was really, really so, I can't tell you, express to you how much comfort these people at the hospital gave to me. But in the box, it had her card with her little footprints on it. She had little feet on her card, and my thumbprint on the card as well. And by the way, her name was Olivia Ariel. Okay, my mother's middle name was Olivia, so that was her name. And her little hat that she wore on her, I'm trying not to cry in this video. You see my eyes, they're swollen. I don't want to cry in the video. Her little hat she wore on her head, and this was her blanket. It still smells like her. And there's some pictures in here, but I'm not going to show y'all that. And my armband that I would have worn, my ID band for her. And, you know, just some little information and stuff like that. So I thought that was really sweet that they took the time to make this for me, and some little words of encouragement and groups and stuff like that they want me to go to and everything, because it's going to take some time. So, you know, I know eventually I will move forward, and I have to go through the motions of everything and feel the loss, and the pain is still so real inside of me right now, and it's really, really hard. And I'm sure after this video I'll start crying again. But I'll get through it. It's the hardest thing in my life was walking out that hospital without my baby. But like I said, the strength is what is bringing me through this right now, is to know that God loved her more. He really did. He really did love my baby more, that he took her because he knew that she was going to suffer with that birth defect that she had. You know? So knowing that is the only thing right now that's really putting some ease to me. And I know now that, you know, she has her wings and she's up there. My little baby, my precious angel, is up there flying. She has her wings. So I don't know when I'm gonna come back with another update. I wanted to come and do a surgiversary because I had hit the year mark, and I wanted to talk about my year and reflections on the year. And I'm gonna miss all of that because I can't do that right now. You know, for me, the ending of the year is like, it feels like an end to my life right now for me. You know, inside I'm so much pain inside of me right now. So I'm going to end this video now before I start getting emotional. But I thank everybody for everything, and I'm sorry that I can't be here right now. And I'll come back soon. Okay, thanks.